It's very exciting for me when I hear an icebreaker that it's not an icebreaker because the amount of skill and the technique that I hear demonstrated is not at icebreaker level. It's at intermediate or at some level advanced. And that was the speech that Eddie gave us tonight. And I'll tell you why I feel that way. The objective of the icebreaker is to introduce yourself to the club. And Eddie did that with a speech that was very solidly structured, using a chronological delivery of the various group activities that he has participated in and the lessons that he learned from them, which taught him how, according to his title, he can make a difference. Baseball, learning how to be a team player, rugby, learning leadership, the school paper, learning his love of words, and now at campus ministry, learning an ethic of service. It gave us a very complete picture of who Eddie is. And that is how you do an icebreaker. Also, he asked for feedback in specific areas. Body language, you all saw Eddie gestured frequently and naturally throughout the speech. His eye contact particularly impressed me. Eddie, I felt you were speaking directly to me. And that's really a feat when you're speaking over Zoom. In terms of vocal variety, Eddie speaks with a rhythm that is very natural, that has ups and downs, is very conversational and pleasing to listen to. His pronunciation is clear, and he spoke with no notes. Now, Eddie, I want you to answer this question for me. Did you memorize this speech?
It was supposed to be memorized. I had a little bit of a brain fart at the end, but yes, I did.
Okay. A lot of people feel very secure in doing that, particularly for a very first speech, so that makes total sense. But you referenced how you hit a wall at one point, which is going to happen to all of us. And it happens to people who have given thousands of speeches and not just the very first one. Something that I would urge you to do is to consider working with a series of bullet points as opposed to memorizing each word. Because if you work with bullet points and if you hit a wall, it will be easier to jump back in and move to your next bullet point. Some other suggestions for you, and I'm scraping bottom here, Eddie, honestly. You had the camera at a very low level, so we were looking up at you. And while it's great that you were smart enough to have the camera so that we could see from the top of your head to your waist approximately, it would be better if you had the camera about in the middle. Also, while your gestures were terrific, and I believe you were pushing yourself to make sure that you were gesturing, you actually can start pulling that back a little bit. The table topics you just did, your gestures were so natural that I would go for that. And I think working with the bullet points will help you there. And finally, you started to do something which will be great, which is if you want to do things to engage your audience, at one point you leaned in and got closer to the camera. And that's another way that you can vary essentially your body language, but it's the distance between you and your audience. And that's another aspect of speaking, particularly in Zoom. All in all, Eddie, it was delightful. I feel, and I think I speak for all of us, I feel like I really got to know you much better and how what a well-rounded new member we have. I'm so looking forward to your next speech. Derek, back to you.